Hey guys, this is Eric Weingarten with Weingarten Racing. Today is Friday, so it's a racing video, which in other words, I go over different things that happen in the shop, just talk about different things. If you're like, well, there's no tech in this video. Yeah, that one's on Sunday. In case you're wondering what the Sunday one's gonna be. Last week, I told you the basics of head porting. I'm actually gonna show you what's done on the one on Sunday. Today, I'm just gonna do a quick thing, kind of go over some things that's happened in the shop, kind of give you some idea of some of the stuff. Like last week I talked about some of the problems and what's happened with them, because maybe you'll get an update, in other words, and see if things got better. I'm just showing this because I got a valve job this head. By the way, this head is a Brodix Race Right 270. I have to do, it came in that someone else had already used it, and I just had to refresh the valve job and deck it. So that's the reason why I didn't clean this all the way up. But I didn't realize because it was so dirty, but these are the CNC chambers. So in case you're wondering what the CNC chamber version of the Race Right looked like, that's this. Okay, so there's that. All right, to the topic for today. Let's update first. The products mentioned last week, the first one was a cylinder head that was up on the mill where it had been welded. On Tuesday, I sent it to FedEx so that I could have my next batch of problems. I have a FedEx account. I've been using them since 2007. And this last 2 years, it's been pretty much horrible. And before you're like, well, you should switch to UPS. That's like choosing Lucifer or Satan. You're like, wait a minute, they're the same thing. Exactly. They both suck. Shipping, I could go on and on about. But anyway, it was supposed to have been at the location so that the people could examine the head on Wednesday or Thursday. I just tracked it before filming this. I live in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So the package went from Broken Arrow, and it's supposed to go to Arkansas. It went from Broken Arrow to Kansas to Mississippi, and now it's going to go to Arkansas. How does that make any sense at all? I have no idea. Matter of fact, I'm thinking the thing's lost. So the problems that were on with the head just keep getting worse. Anyway, there's that. The valve that was messed up, that actually did get resolved. The person I got them from, there's a company I bought them from, they actually issued a small refund for the trouble that was done with it. I didn't ask for it, they just did it. So that was a great deal. The other stuff, like the spark plugs, didn't even bother contacting, and either with the valve locators or any of the other stuff. It just wasn't worth the effort. So that's the update from that. Today I really want to talk about something else, which is wait times. I want to show you this. You're like, wow, so I don't get it. See all these boxes? Those are intake manifolds I got to port, each and every one. I do typically one a weekend. That's 12. There's 12 there, so there's 12 weeks of work. And you're like, so? The reason why I'm saying it is because I'm backed up. And I'm not the only one. Every single thing that you can get is backed up. There's nothing that you can get right now. And I know we're used to being like, at least in America, and for us foreign people, maybe you're not this way. We want things right now. I don't want them tomorrow, I want them right now. So the problem is you can't get anything right now. And I know it's frustrating to customers, but it's frustrating to us too. Because for instance, this manifold right here, I thought I lost it. Thank goodness I didn't. But this one right here, if you wanted to order it right now, forget me porting it, you want to order this thing, you won't get this thing for 4 months, if that. There's a manifold that's down here that's a Elderbrock 2892. I've had one ordered for a customer since March, and it's still not here. So we're talking about parts that are not even slightly delayed, like hugely delayed, which brings up something else. If you're wanting something from me ported, for next season, so you're like, I want to get ready for race season. And you're like, nah, I got time. I'll wait till January. If you wait till January, you will miss the entire next season, because it's not just me either. If you send me something to get ported January, you're probably not going to get it probably till July. And I'm not kidding. That's how far out it would probably be by that point. If you want something for the race season that's coming up next year, 2022, you need to have it in within the next month. Chances are you're going to either miss part or all of it, because things get really busy as things go on. And I'm not trying to spook you. It's not just me. Every business that has anything to do with racing that I've talked to are the same way. And you're like, what do you mean? AFR. This is so frustrating. I'll tell you just one short story. I ordered a set of AFR 195 heads, and I'm a dealer for AFR, back in June. They told me it would be 8 weeks. It's now August, almost 20th. Well beyond the 8 weeks. Don't have the heads. But you know who does have the heads? Summit. So then the customer contacts me, and I don't blame him. He's like, where's my heads? Because I'm supposed to have them by now too. And I don't have them. But he's like, why don't you have them? I mean, Summit has them. I don't know if those other, like AFR and other companies themselves, feel like the major warehouses and then forget us about the little guys, or if they just ordered way back in October. I don't know. But it looks bad for us because Summit has them in stock, but we won't have ours. Of course, I called, by the way, and they're like, you will get yours, it looks like middle of September. And I'm not kidding. So everything's backed up. Brodix, if you order one of their sets of heads, you're months behind. I mean, Trick Flow, same way. It's universal on just about every single product you could buy as far as racing goes. So like I say, it's not just me trying to scare you, but if you want to make next race season, you need to order now. So anyway, that's something to keep up to date on. I had another problem happen with this thing. I know I'd love to talk about racing. That'd be great to talk about racing. I should be see how these new headers work with the truck, except for they're not there. Let me show you. So I got my new skinnies on. I got the new QA1 upper control arms and UMI lowers. This header's in there perfectly. It clears everything, moves stuff around. It's all fine. This header has been nothing but a pain. So, and I can't explain it. That tube fits, this tube fits, this tube fits, this one's not even close. It keeps hitting my frame down here. Or not the frame, but the motor mount. I've tried shoving the motor mount forward, doing all kinds of stuff, it still hits. I've sent it back once, and now I'm gonna send it back again. I have to say, this company, talk about customer service. This one's like, I'll give you a return label, and then you just drop it off, and then we'll ship it back. They're gonna do that again. And I'm not like getting on the phone like, yeah, we need to fix it right now. They're just doing it. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that's going on in the shop. I really would like to have this truck out at the track just to see how much those headers might improve this, but it just isn't in the cards. Because even if the header fit, I then have to take these off. And because you could tell they're already starting to get surface rust. I'm gonna take these off. I'm gonna send them off to Jet Hot Coating in Oklahoma City. They're gonna put on a 2,000 degree coating on it. Then I'm gonna wrap them. Then they're gonna put back in on the truck. And then I can go to the track. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen between now and then. Anyway, I know you guys think I'm just griping nothing about these videos, but Fridays are I just wanted to give you guys something, at least somewhat an update. But I do want to leave you with one little piece of a tech. So, because I hate for people when they just ramble on, which some people like blah, blah, blah with whatever I say, but I do want to give you one little thing. It's just something to help you. Here's your little tech thing. Okay, this is my sister's motor, and I'm hoping to get on the dyno soon. I made the spark plug wires, but I have an issue, and I'm going to show you how to resolve it. So this is the MSD distributor, and there's nothing wrong with the distributor. But if you notice, see if you see it, see how much gap I got here? And yes, it's fully seated. I've already checked it out. It's fully seated. It's good to go. But if I was to put a gasket in, so let me get the gasket real quick and I'll show you. Right here. This is the gasket for it. If you put it in, see what I mean? You have an issue. Sometimes this happens from time to time. And this may happen, you might be saying, what would cause that? MSD mess up or something, make the distributor wrong, or was it Edelbrock? No. I had milled these heads 30 thousandths on each side just to bring the compression ratio up a little bit. It's still only gonna be like 9.8. I mean, it's nothing. But because I did that, it lowers the manifold down and puts it away from this. So you still have to have it off the distributor there. And you can't just have it like this, because obviously if you put the hold down on, it's not going to seal, for one, but two, you could punch it down and actually push the whole shaft down into the distributor, cause some problems there. Also, the gear alignment with the cam's not going to be great. So what do you do to resolve it? They do make an adjustable slip collar version of this, and what this means is this outer ring is adjustable. It's got like a little Allen head that holds it. And then in that case, you just loosen it, have it touch here, tighten it, raise it up, put this underneath, because that's how you set them. Once it touches, you tighten up the thing, raise it back up, and you got it. Boom, put that in, and it's at the right clearance. But in this case, it's not adjustable, so what do? Well, what you can do is this little deal. This is a housing shim kit. This is for the small block Chevy and big block Chevy. They probably make it, I'm sure they make it for other makes of engines. And they're shims, but they're nylon. So like this is a 30,000 shim. So what you do with this case, I need to fill in my gap, is I'm gonna put it through here, and that will fill in my gap, and it should work fine. So I say that because that's only gonna bring it to level. There's gonna be one more gasket to put on here. So they come with 3. This one's too thick. This one's too thick as well. But if I do this thin one, and then also put in the gasket, and then I'll put another gasket on top, because those two together make it 0, as if I had a slip collar and brought it down. So I put that in, and then I'll put the other gasket, and then it will give me the correct clearance, and it should work fine. I am going to check its wear pattern on the distributor gear though, just to confirm it before I actually stab it in for good and make sure everything's fine, before I tighten it down, in other words. So I'll put it in there, put them in there. I'll mark on the distributor gear, turn the engine a few times, see where it's lining up as far as the pattern would be with the gear on the distributor, and then I can adjust it vice versa. But usually, if you get 0 here, where it's just touching, and then you can put it in a 60 thousandths, another gasket, which is 60 thousandths, you're usually correct. So I've got to do that. And then I also, since I've got to pull this back out anyway, I've got to pull it out, knock out the roll pin, and make it where the mechanical advance is locked out. Just because it makes things easier on the dyno. Because it will be dynoed with a carburetor, even though it's going to have the Sniper EFI when it's in the car. But I don't want to have to deal with Sniper EFI issues, because I had that with the S10, where it could flood your engine. And then that's definitely not a good thing to do on a brand new engine, to harm it. So it'll be broke in with the carburetor, make sure everything's fine, make a couple of pulls, and then maybe we'll switch it to the Sniper on the dyno and make some more pulls and go from there. Because the dyno I'm going to go to can do both. Okay, so there's your little tech there. But I do want to show you one other thing. I just saw it. This is the heads for the new engine for the S10. These are the headhunters, and I've showed you before if you watch some of my other videos. I did a valve job on them, so now they're cut out to 215, 1/600. As you can tell, I got them. I did have the chamber softened. That's why you see that conical groove. But the chambers themselves, I had them not port them so I could do it myself. I did a little bit of work on them yesterday. Stayed up to about 1 just to do this. It's not perfect. I got a little bit more grinding to go, but some little tweaks I need to make. I'm just not, there's some areas like you wouldn't see it from the picture, but you can feel it like right through there. I'm not happy with, and I need it to come out, but it's pretty good because it goes from that to that. So pretty good. Chamber sizes though is pretty large because of the softening like this. This chamber size is 78 cc's, which is like, oh my goodness. That's kind of what I thought too, but flat top piston, it will yield me right about 10-1 when all said and done. So I still have to mill this off because they leave a horrible finish from the company. So I'm gonna have it like glass. So I'll lose a few cc's on the chamber that way, or gain a few cc's, well, smaller cc's so it makes more compression. That'll be done and go from there. But this thing should be pretty good. I'm not gonna make the ports overly large, so it's probably not gonna flow a ton of air compared to some of my other heads, but it'll be good for what the engine is. This one's the one that's getting the torque storm, in case you haven't watched the other videos. So, but anyway, and should be do okay. This kind of throws it because I didn't put Dicom here. It makes it look like I did. No, it's there. The line's actually this way. Let's see if I can show you. See? You can see a little bit where I have my trace line where I want just a little bit more. The biggest part on this, the hard part for those porting ones that watch this far, is because if I put the spark plug in, it's buried in the hole. So yeah, I could have ground it where it'd be like, perfect shape. But then the spark plug's buried. So that's been the trickiest part of grinding this one, is exposing the spark plug so the flame could travel. Anyway, Thanks for watching and listen to me gripe some more. If I get some updates on what's happened with that one head or anything, I'll let you know. Look for the video on Friday, or sorry, look for the video on Sunday about more about porting. Thanks for sticking around this long to listen this much. If it's not the video you really want, just give me another try. I promise you there'll be others. Anyway, you guys take care.